Situated on the southwest tip of Ireland, where the Atlantic meets the unforgiving mountains and coastline, lies a landscape sculpted by wind and rain. A region known for its rugged beauty and abundant marine life. Fin whales, humpback whales, minke whales, dolphins and porpoises visit West Cork's coastal waters at different times throughout the year. Atlantic grey and harbour seals breed on the small islands dotted along the coast, while many bird species make the waters around the islands of West Cork a summer home prior to their autumn migration south over the equator. During the course of this series, I'll not only be looking at the marine life that lives here, I'll also be asking, why is this region such a magnet for some of the world's most incredible marine species, and how we can all do our part in conserving the environment here in what is a truly wild West Cork. Poke about in hedgerows, look closely at stone walls, rummage around in overgrown ditches, and you will be rewarded with the beauty and amazing variety that are the wildflowers of West Cork, more beautiful in their colours and design than any man-made cultivar. In early spring, you will find golden carpets of celandines in woodland and laneside locations. Anemones and bluebells follow as the spring progresses until a cornucopia of colour and variety erupts with cornflowers, foxgloves, and even the humble daisy providing a sometimes well-hidden and often unseen example of the amazing plant biodiversity of wild West Cork. All is not as it should be, though. Pollution, climate change, intensive agricultural practices, and the invasive species that make their home here in West Cork all put our native flora at risk. Estimates suggest that up to 15% of our native flora could be at risk of extinction. Much, however, can be done to reverse this decline. Thoughtful management of roadsides and laneways, suitable enclosure of agricultural stock, and reduction in the use of herbicides in agriculture will all play a role. Any one of us can set aside a portion of their garden to provide a safe haven for wild flowers and wild nature. Some, however, have gone one step further. Viv De Courcy put much thought and effort into the design of her wildflower garden. So moved was she by the importance of wildflower biodiversity in West Cork, she went on to make a film about Mary Reynolds, her garden designer. Mary Reynolds made history in 2002 by being the youngest ever winner of a gold medal at the Chelsea Flower Show for her inspired Celtic Sanctuary wildflower garden design.
The story of Dare to be Wild came about after I went back to Ireland from America, where I'd worked in corporate America for many years and managed to buy myself, scrape all my money together and get a little hill farm in West Cork where my ancestors come from. And I really wanted to have a wild garden that articulated its way into the wild landscape of Roaring Water Bay. And I sent the design brief out to several different designers, but none of them came back with what Mary Reynolds did. And she told me her story about being 25 years of age and deciding that she should enter the Chelsea Flower Show to show people the importance of wild nature and the importance of protecting it.
I've come to ask for your help. You see, gardens these days have nothing to do with the feeling that wild places give us. They're not glowing with life force and atmosphere.
Viv De Courcy asked me to design her garden, and we became very good friends, and she loved my story, and she asked me could she make it into a movie, and I didn't take her seriously. But I didn't realise how tenacious this woman was and how talented she was, and she has brought it to this point, and it's wonderful to watch.
When she started to design the wild garden that I had wanted, she started to tell me her story, extraordinary against all odds story of going to the Chelsea Flower Show and actually winning with a wild garden. how did I start writing this? I guess I grew up in a place with my father and mother where on every weekend I was taken for walks in the wild. We would have particular tasks like find a bee orchid. And so when I was making the movie, it was an absolute joy for me to show all the places that I've loved since childhood, the actual privilege of shooting in these extraordinarily beautiful forests and around the lake shores and in the meadows that we actually have the characters move through. I realised that her struggle was almost like the struggle for all of us and for wild nature itself getting ahead. And it was the core of the story became her struggle and her determination to first get her garden accepted at all, to make the cut to get to the Chelsea Flower Show, a near impossible task because the competition is furious. And so the story is driven by that struggle, and it mimics the struggle of wild nature. And indeed it mimicked my struggle to make the movie.
Walking up here on a West Cork hillside, you get a real sense of the peace and tranquility associated with a wildflower garden or wildflower meadow, and the real healing properties associated with those areas where wild nature can flourish unfettered. Next time on Wild West Cork, we will be looking at the second largest fish in the world, a creature that has been cruising the world's oceans for nearly 400 million years, a living fossil, the basking shark.